Welcome to the Pit Stop Ranch. This video, we're going down to the Goodguys SoCal show in Del Mar Fairgrounds in North San Diego County. Hope you enjoy. Okay, nice shot of the outside of the venue. This is fairgrounds in northern San Diego County, right on the coast. Some participants arriving. Here's a shot inside the first building that they kind of funnel you towards. It was a 39 or 40 Ford coupe, two-door sedan. Pretty color. 55 Chevy Bel Air, hardtop. Very clean, of course, and beautiful, pretty, like all of the vehicles here. Not a slouch here. This is a very interesting F100. I'm going to say 53. Anyways, it is one that's got the brass tank top for the radiator, which is eye-catching. Obligatory small block Chevy, but it's been chopped, and it is probably one of the more tastefully chopped of this vintage truck. Usually when they get chopped, they take way too much out and the proportions get all wrong. These trucks could use a little bit of a chop because the proportions of the cab, how tall it is a little bit weird. So a little bit of a chop is good, and I think this is the max chop you can get away with. A 1940 Ford coupe with a Ford small block with a individual throttle body fuel injection, and using the distributor location for a crank position sensor. It's really sweet. That's a cool setup. I'd like to do something similar to that in one of my many vehicles. This is what it says right here on the sign. That makes it easy. 49 shoebox Ford. Very cool, very neat. It's one of the cars on the short list of things I would like to get. It's one of the ones we refer to as a unicorn. Do this with a really hot flathead in it, and it'd be pretty sweet. This Deuce coupe, or excuse me, Deuce Roadster is pretty cool. Believe it or not, this is a flathead, but it's a flathead. At some point, someone developed an overhead cam system for, custom overhead cam system for it. I guess a few of these were built, but they're exceedingly rare, obviously considerably more rare than your Ardent heads, and it's pretty amazing, pretty cool. Now the rest of the car, of course, is a gorgeous example of a 32 Roadster, and that's the thing about the show, especially the vehicles inside the buildings. Are every single one of them the lowliest, the most humble ones would win any regional, even state competition, let alone a major show. So beautiful. I don't know if there's an actual competition for this show or not, but every single thing here is amazing, and the stuff in the car corral is just, you know, stuff people brought to sell, and you have the obligatory, all the other cool stuff. It's a neat show. Neat 1930 Model A. Now the interesting thing is it's a fully fendered with the original A front tombstone front grille. Seems like especially the 30 and 31 Model A's always get 32 grills. That said, that's exactly what I'm doing on my 30-31 5 window. Now this is it's a Chevy. I don't know exactly which one, but it's the same generation as Jimmy is. But I'm not exactly sure what year. Anyways, Chevy. There it was, 1950 Chevy. These attracted me because, of course, since we're working on big block Chevy, because we're working on Jimmy, so I kept looking for different ideas. I kind of like the grill setup is, or not the grill, but the hood tilt forward hoods on a lot of these early 50s pickups were interesting because a lot of them had kind of bad hinge arrangements. The F100 specifically had horrible hood arrangements. Speaking of which, here is a an early F100, like I was talking about, 56. So it isn't super duper early. It isn't as early as the 55 or 54 that, or 53 that we have in the yard. But the tilt or the hood hinges on those things are just atrocious, and people have been doing stuff to change them all for a long time. Now apparently this is a kit that someone has come up with, and it's fairly straightforward and simple kit, one that I could probably replicate at home. Of course, here is another 32 Roadster, but this one has a 572 big block, because yeah, that is what you put in a 32 Roadster. That's squirrely as heck with a warmed up flathead, let alone something like that. Triple twos on a small block Chevy. No, this was a this is a this is a Pontiac 389 bored and stroked out to like 40 something. It says on one of the signs if I show it, and a 34 Ford chassis. So this is pretty cool. Any sort of engine, honestly, anything. It's like anything that isn't the small block Chevy or the LS motor, it gets all. I feel a lot more affection for. And it isn't because I have a problem with those engines. Those engines are amazing. They're great engines to do big power with. That's the reason why people always build those engines. The problem is they're boring, you know. I mean, here's a small block Chevy here, and what's interesting about this is that all the vintage speed parts on it for single barrel carburetors on an old school manifold, everything. This is for a Chevy build. This is an interesting small block Chevy build because it is all vintage parts, so it looks cool. But you know, your typical Chevy built to make power, it seems kind of in a 32 frame or a 32 body, kind of on the boring side, I'm afraid to say. When I was a kid, my dad brought me to a few of these shows, and walking along, it was a Model A with a 32 grill, probably mostly fiberglass, and with a Chevy 350, Turbo 350, and a Ford 9-inch, and it was just right on down the road. Now here's something you do not see at all. This is a Hudson Terraplane utility coupe from 1937. I actually had to fast forward the video to figure out what it is. Now that's a Buick 455. Again, an interesting engine you don't see a lot of, even though they were incredibly good engines. Perfect for low-end torque and power and everything else. So this is a pretty sweet, beautiful car. I dug this one quite a bit.
I was going to say it's a Terraplane, so it's built back in the day.
Very pretty 32, no, 28, 29, and I believe that's a Buick nailhead in it. The 28, 29 Model A with the Buick nailhead in it. So that, you know, again, interesting engine that's different. Let's see. I believe this is another 40. Sedan delivery Ford. That's cool. Next, we went ahead and took a step outside and check out some of the nice rides that are outside. Enjoying the gorgeous weather that we are having. Slightly overcast with roughly, 60 degrees. Nice, comfortable weather to be tooling around in. We got everything from relatively stock Stingrays to a 65 Malibu. Now it's got the SS hood on it and SS rear deck lid on it. Here's 1950 Chevy, I believe. I'm starting to really like these early 50s GMs. BOPs are my favorite, but the Chevy's sweet. Here, obligatory Camaro with a blower on it. These used to be a lot more common than they were here. Actually, I'm surprised I didn't see more first-gen Camaros. And really, for that matter, didn't see as many first-gen Mustangs either. There are a few. Yet another 56 Ford pickup with a small block Chevy and a tilt forward hood setup. There wasn't quite as many LS swaps as I was expecting there. There were a handful. Another was a 64 Malibu. Gorgeous T-Bird. Very nice. Here we have a Jaguar. I'm not sure which one, but a pretty one. Obligatory small block Chevy in there. I bet this is a fun little car to scoot around in. Pretty design, of course. You know, Jaguars are pretty, and then you get reliability with a small block Chevy. What the heck? Why not? Ranchero and a Nomad. Is it 56, I believe, but I'm sure I've got it wrong, and someone will happily correct me, and that is good. Once again, if I get something wrong, if I misidentify something, feel free to yell at me, because, you know, we're not all perfect. Yeah, 55 or 56 Nomad. I'm pretty sure it's a 56, but someone corrects me. Now, this little T-bucket is really cool. I want to linger. Now, of course, this is an LS engine, but it's got triple 2 barrels on it and a distributor, a front mount distributor on it. So it is something a bit different. I actually dug that quite a bit. Another gorgeous Tri-Fi Chevy. What do we got here? 55? 56. Oh. Shoebox, right? I believe this is, yes, this is a shoebox with a small block Chevy. Some cars rolling by. Nice Impala wagon. Yet another Tri-Fi Chevy. A real honest-to-God 401. That is sweet. Mark 1 big block Chevy. Again, something other than a small block Chevy or an LS. Always makes me happy. And nice 409. I think I said a 401, but 409. So very cool. Very neat. Apparently it's been bored and stroked out to 472, which I don't know why you do that with a Mark 1 big block, because if you wanted to build power, you're better off building a Mark 4 or Mark 6, Gen 6 big block. But hey, personal opinion, whatever. Yet another early 50s Chevy pickup. Because we're doing Jimmy, every single one I saw caught my eye. So I had to get some footage. Here we have another 31 Model A with a 32 grille and a very cool retro small block Chevy, cleanly done. Has the Southern California Timing Association sticker, or otherwise known as the Senior Citizens Timing Association, at least according to the president of my club. Couple LS powered, there's an LS3 powered pickup and an LS3 powered, 3940 Ford Coupe. Another early 50s Chevy pickup, because can't have too many of those on this channel because we got a 53 GMC. It's interesting to see the differences between the GMC and the Chevy. Nice lineup of classic vehicles. Early, I don't even know, pickup, that is Chevy, I think, but it could be a Dodge. Buick, those always make me salivate. I'll get a walk by this here in a little bit. It's interesting, the bare metal, that's pretty bold on the part of the restorer to do bare metal like that. 66 Chevelle Super Sport, looks familiar, right? Here's a Willys pickup. Pretty cool, pretty neat. You know, it took me a while to figure out what this is, but it's a Willys pickup with a small block forward. This is an actual 32. Is it a 67 Mustang? Another F100. 30. Oh, excuse me. This is a E-Type Jag that was at the also at the Roadster show. C10. Some of the cool art that was available for sale at the show. There's a lot of vendors selling different things. At a small swap meet, we did spend a little bit of money on something that the seller wasn't sure what it was, and we thought we knew, and we were wrong, so it wasn't a good buy. But you know, hey, whatever. Like a 48 or 49 Cadillac, very cool. I am pretty sure that this car was in the magazines a few years ago, and I mean maybe a couple decades ago, because I think this was like a pinnacle build in the late 90s or something along those lines. So it just caught my eye as something, hey, I think I know that car. You know, especially a ZZ4 350 crate motor. That was the big thing in the late 90s. Another 50s Chevy pickup. '32 Ford Fan, I think that's what it's called. It's the removable soft top sedan. That's one of the chop top. I think it's beautiful. I really dig this car, and the fact it's actually got a flathead in it, even better. Ford Cortina. Did they import these? It's an English car. Sold in the rest of Europe as well. I don't think they sold these in the U.S. This must have been drug in by a GI or something. And, you know, cute little business coupe with a small block Chevy in it. '81 Firebird with the last of the Pontiac V8s. This amazingly anemic V8 that they thought that, you know, was a tiniest version of the Pontiac V8. The overall dimensions and weight were the same, so it's outrageous. Size of a big block, displacement of a small block. And then they decided to make up for the how anemic it was with a turbocharger from the factory. Kind of interesting thing. '67 Chevelle SS with a big block. Very cool. Dig these cars. One of my favorite Chevelles is a '67 Chevelle. It's also my favorite Pontiac Le Mans Tempest GTO is a '67. There's a '67 A body in general. It's just the bee's knees to me. Now it's funny, since it's two-wheel drive, is it still a K5 or would it be technically a C5? Someone can let me know. It's got the 502 big block. Very cool. But yeah, if someone can answer that question for me, I would appreciate it. Someone who's a Blazer aficionado. T-Bucket, the small block, 4-seater. And another early 50s Ford, a 55, or I guess mid 50s, 55 Ford pickup. I believe the grill's actually for 53, but anyways, it looks sharp, very nice. Another 3031 Model A with 32 grill and a small block Chevy. Very interesting header work on this thing. Looks pretty cool. I dig it. Flames are neat. 31. There we go. Dual quads on a high rise. Very sexy. Very cool. Here is a gorgeously restored sprint car, race car, like a 1960 sprint car. It says there on the plaque on there. Very awesome, very cool. You know, of course, this car never looked this good racing. This is clearly the effort of a rather extensive restoration. I appreciate it. I think it's fun. Don't know if it actually does any racing anymore, but who knows? It's pretty cool. Of course, a 65 fastback Mustang. There wasn't as many first-gen Mustangs as you would expect, or at least that I would expect. Plenty of Tri-Fi Chevys, but not. I would expect more, and I was expecting a lot more Chevelles than second-gen Chevelles, the 68 through 72, and mostly what I saw, most of the Chevelles A-bodies I saw were my preferred year 64 to 67. Here is a base 110 Chevy, 55 Chevy. You know, these Beetles without the fenders, I don't know, I kind of dig them. I think they're pretty cool. I think purists don't like them, but I don't know, there's something attractive about it. I can see why people kind of see them as a follow-up to the old early Ford hot rods. Let's see, what is this? You know, I'm not sure what that was. Anyways, G bodies. Since this is like an 83 and older, 84 and older, something like that. I was thinking there would be a lot more G bodies here, but we're only a couple. Now the Key Club shows up a lot at the swap meet, Pomona swap meet. They take over a good section. Seem like a really cool group of guys and gals, and it's a G body club, which I like G body, so works for me. And of course, how often do we see one of these? AMC Javelin. Now, I kind of was focusing on the engine, trying to figure out if that's actually an AMC like 401, or if it was a something else. I don't know the AMC engines terribly well, but it could be AMC 327, 360, or 401, I think. This Firebird looking thing, I think it's a Firebird. It's highly customized. Honestly, I was a little disappointed with the small block Chevy in it. It should be a Ford powertrain. Let's see, we got a blown big block in Nova. So, you know, it's good and hairy. A wagon. There weren't too many wagons there. I was surprised. Now, this is... you know, I dig these things. Things are pretty cool. This one was one of the only cars with a modern Hemi in it. At SEMA, one would have the impression that every new build is a Hellcat motor. If not, where a year ago all new builds were LS motors. This was the only one that was a new Hemi, and it isn't even the Hellcat. Best I can tell with this one, someone took an international travel all and put it on a Raptor chassis, and then put the Raptor interior into it. Oh, cool idea. Packard. Now, before World War II, the height of luxury was defined either by Packard or by Duesenberg. Those were the height of luxury. And, you know, Cadillac and Lincoln were up and coming, you know, but they were nothing compared to the big boys. And this being a gorgeous, looks like a fairly beautifully restored, mostly original or all original example of Packard. So I had to take some time with the old girl and really show you some of the parts of her a little more detail than a lot of the other vehicles that we come across, that we see on a lot more regular basis. You don't see too many really beautifully done up cars like that. And of course the trunk's full of wine and probably cigars. Another 55, 56 Chevy 110, 210 probably. Okay, a Tempest Le Mans 69, and it's interesting because I believe it's a 69. It's just those rear quarter panels, the arrowhead light on them is a 68 only year. The 68 and 69, those are the big differences on the actual body stamping. Everything else is the exact same, and then it's minor details of the grille and bumper are different. However, and this is pretty close to the original color of my Tempest. My 68 Pontiac is my daily driver. It's this beautifully done car. I am quite, I'm not going to say jealous, because a few things I would do different. One, I'm going to build a Pontiac 400 and bore and stroke out to 455, but I'm going to put the manual behind it. And though this is pretty close to original color, I'm not going to run this color. I'm going to run a different color. Some more outside. Some cool stuff outside. 65 Malibu, of course, catches my eye. Another 32 Roadster convertible. I don't know if it's a Roadster or convertible. Either way, with a small block Chevy. Beautiful car. 67 Go. Hucks, yeah. Yeah, this is my favorite A-body. Here's a Kaiser for you. Triple twos. Can't tell what engine it is quite from there. Yeah, that's nice. Triple twos, small block Chevy. That's a pretty cool setup. I like different induction systems like that. Something that's completely different. 51 Kaiser Henry J, which was, I believe the Henry J was the base Kaiser model. Also, the reason why they become really popular as gassers, because they were cheap and nobody knew what the heck they were, and they were light. Classic lead sled here, chop top Ford with the Mercury hubcaps. Pretty cool job, man. Pretty cool car. And here's that naked Buick I filmed coming in earlier. Bold move. I mean, obviously they got a suede clear coat on it to protect the sheet metal from rusting, but you got to be pretty proud of your work to do that. 66 Chevy Caprice. I believe that at this time, the Caprice was the base model, B body, and then you had the Impala, which was the up option version, or fancier version. but very neat. And here's something a little different for you. A Ford lowrider. No, I haven't run into too many lowriders done up as a Ford, so that's... Don't look like I have the lowrider scratched out, it's just a Ford Galaxy. Yeah, anyways, it's still cool. This is one of my favorite generations for the Impala Caprice, the 68 there. Fastback effect. I like that fastback better than the A-body fastbacks that like my 68 Pontiac. It's a very, very cool 47 Chevy. Very pretty. I believe this is a 54 Chevy. Don't know for sure, but I think that's a 54. Could be 53. Another pretty convertible. I think this is a Cadillac, because that's a Cadillac V8 in it. So that's pretty sweet. This is a cool pickup. Really nice. That's a sparkly paint job. That's really, actually, I like it. And I like the all the airbrush work. The Caprice B-body. And this one even more so. All of these, on top of the 1,000,000 hours they have in the paint job, they got another 500,000 in engraving all those hard chrome surfaces to really accentuate things. So when you're here to show off all the stuff done, that was even done underneath the car, and it's a real labor of love. Obviously, these guys love this style and love the what they're doing. So it's pretty intense, pretty crazy. This here car is a testimony. It's kind of the kind of eclipses many of the other cars in just the level of on the paint as well as the engraving and the display of putting it on the carousel, the rotisserie, or the lazy Susan, for lack of a better description, that it sits here and spins and allows you to see every inch of it, every detail of it, all of the very intricate, detailed work. And you wonder how many iterations that they put into this to get it to this point. And none of these cars, none of them, the most humble example in any of the buildings, once again, is still a showstopper at any of your local little meet and cruises that you typically find. And these are just, if you spend any appreciable amount of time studying them, to see how much love and passion and effort has gone into building them. It's pretty intense. It's pretty extreme. Certainly a lot more work than I plan on putting into my builds for the most part. I mean, I put a lot of work in too. Don't get me wrong, but man. And here is a 1953 GMC pickup that is pretty original. Not 100% original, but pretty original, and I actually spent about twice as much time as you're actually going to see filming it, trying to get an idea of the different areas and how things go together on it, because I have a few questions on how we're going to get Jimmy back together. If there's a couple mystery parts that I'm still kind of trying to figure out. I was hoping that if I just film from enough different angles, enough different ways, I will see what I'm missing, what I'm looking for, but yeah, it's kind of neat to come across an actual same year model as the one that we were busy restoring, especially since we don't. It was a basket case when we got it, and we've been picking at it, and it was fairly together, but not all that together. So spent some time looking this over and studying it a bit. So here someone took a Cobra replica kit car and cut it up, and weren't too shy about making it pretty, but they just looks like they built a frame and mounted a Tesla motor and a battery pack arrangement into it. And I don't know if they're doing if they made it all-wheel drive or not. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't stick around to try and find out, but interesting setup, kind of I don't know, sort of clever. You can get it probably road legal this way, and you got yourself an insane car to do stupid stuff with. Now, the cars in this section are all, for lack of a better description, pro touring type cars that have been set up for doing a road course. And the reason being is this is the paddock area, or the pits area, for the little autocross area they had set up. Now, I don't think I caught it, but the autocross course presently, while I was filming this, was shut down because the first person out had a steering failure and went full speed into one of the Jersey barriers, one of the K barriers, and destroyed his car. Now, I really like the Corvairs, the second generation Corvair like this one. It's kind of on my short list. Maybe not a unicorn, but I really like these cars. I don't think that's a controversial perspective, unless you believe Ralph Nader. But I dig them, and I'm kind of keeping my eyes peeled for a 4-speed or a manual one that's not too expensive, but not too far gone. A Ranchero set up for autocross. It's pretty cool. They have the cantilevered, or the wishbone, the rear suspension like that. This is a Daytona Coupe replica, I assume. I would doubt anyone's actually racing a real Daytona Coupe, but that, 1965 Ford Cobra Daytona Coupe, especially with the cutouts in the hood and everything else. But I think it's really cool. This wide body Corvette I don't know, something just spoke to me. I think it's sexy as hell. The side pipes and the huge flares. I think it's just well done. It's pretty. You know, if you think I'm wrong, well, that's because you're wrong, because it's sexy as hell. And someone took a Meyer Manx or Meyer Manx like vehicle and made it mid-engined and set it up for a road course. So I don't know, I thought that was really cute and funny. I almost wonder if it is a like a 914 setup as opposed to the VW setup, but it's probably the VW setup. It's probably. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was a nice show. It definitely was not as big as the Roadster show we went to back in December, but still, it was everything I remember a Goodguys show being, and then some actually, because back in the day it wasn't the swap meet, and they didn't have a burnout competition, and they also didn't have autocross. Now, the autocross was shut down for most of what we were there for, because right before we found the autocross, someone wrecked pretty damn bad. But we did check out the rest of it, and hope I got a good sampling for if fits everybody's taste. A good show. Good time was had by all, I think. Let me know what you think. Tell me what your favorite car was, the favorite thing you saw there was. Personally, I'm completely blown away by all that intricate etching on all of the hard chrome parts on the lowriders. Apparently that's been a growing popularity within the community of lowriders for the last 10 years, but the first time I saw it, that blew me away. I was actually, because those 10 million hour paint jobs weren't differentiating enough from each other. Now they got to put another 10,000 hours into etch work. That is really incredibly dedication and a lot of energy invested. Good on them. Good on them. That's more than I want to put into a car. And I'm not right in the head when it comes to cars. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. And as always, if you support what we do here at the Pit Stop Ranch, please hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. And have a shiny car-tastic day.